statues here, but the Bears is a little bit taller. Maybe as it should be. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Whether you're going for it from a few yards out or from miles away, go with the tire with superior performance. Goodyear, more driven. ESPN Primetime, Brent Musburger, Jesse Palmer, Maria Taylor, SEC Network crew will have the call tonight. And as Nick Saban said earlier, Mr. Wojciechowski, whatever happens in this game is remembered by folks forever. Perhaps no chapter more memorable than last year's.
Yes, Chris, if you're looking for the stories behind the stories of last year's Iron Bowl, well, Gabriella Eastland isn't a bad place to start. She was born the morning of last year's Iron Bowl, one of two babies born in the Auburn area that day. She was delivered by an Auburn alum, tended to by nurses wearing Auburn gear. In fact, her mother, Courtney, jokingly says that the hospital staff wanted her to deliver in the morning so they wouldn't miss the game. Gabriella's story began about 7:40 a.m. that day. Hers was one of the first, but not the last.
There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight.
It was one of the most memorable moments in college football history. It was quite frankly unbelievable.
Everybody has seen Chris Davis's touchdown for the ages, but was that moment more unbelievable than the stories behind the story? For instance, this is Auburn equipment manager Dana Marquez and his sewing machine.
Of all the things we do in the equipment room, I just didn't think a sewing machine was going to be the piece that really put me on the map.
With about 8 minutes left in last year's game, defensive end Ladarius Owens had to leave the field with a torn jersey.
We could have used our backup jersey that we have on the sideline. But the problem with that, some players are kind of superstitious in that fashion. So we looked at it and said, hey, let's just get the sewing machine.
Yeah, I've been doing this a long time. I've never seen a sewing machine on a sideline. Only in the SEC.
He never missed a play. He actually got in on the play during the kick return and was an integral part of that play.
A new sewing machine will travel to Tuscaloosa. The one that helped beat Bama has its own Twitter handle and is now on display here. Marquez and Owens even autographed it. November 30th, 2013 was the night Jordan-Hare Stadium shook so hard it registered on the Richter scale. Holly bushes were stampeded and have yet to recover. Flower beds disappeared. And so did a cremated Auburn fan.
We did find some human remains on the field. Everyone has that favorite spot where they want to be laid to rest, whether it's a mountaintop or in the ocean, and for some people it's Pat Dye Field.
Meanwhile, in Pensacola, Florida, Graffiti Bridge got TP'd in a fresh coat of paint. And all across the country, War Eagle Nation requested new license plates. Fans wept. Fans celebrated. And one fan, 15-year-old Hayden Hart, stole a visor. Auburn coach Gus Malzahn's visor.
So I try to sneak my way through the crowd to get a little closer there, and then I see him talking, and I'm thinking, I could probably get that visor. So I reached over the shoulder of one of the troopers, and I just kind of pulled it off his head.
He was pretty quick, give him credit. I mean, he went over a couple officers, and he hit it on the first try.
A YouTube video made him infamous. Hate mail poured in.
Well, more people at school know me as the visor thief than by my name, so.
Hayden immediately wrote an apology to Malzahn.
I just said, hey, no, it's okay. No hard feelings.
A year later, Malzahn, Hayden, and the visor had a reunion.
Hey, guys, this guy took my hat, didn't he? Yeah. Can we sign it?
Oh, that'd be great.
Malzahn's visor wasn't the only thing that vanished after the Iron Bowl. For 2 days, nobody knew what had happened to the game ball used by Bama on the missed field goal. Turns out an Auburn student manager had rescued it.
I called the University of Alabama and I said, guys, I have your football. And they laughed and quickly said, well, we don't have any use for it. You can keep it.
And for now, here's where you'll find it.
after this season, over the next year, we'll properly display it. And children can tell their children about that game that happened on November the 30th in 2013.
Where will the ball be during game time on Saturday?
It'll be locked away in my office, along with the memory of last year, because this Saturday, it all starts over.
Well, it had a good run, though, didn't it?
It had a great run, about 109 yards.
Well, this is the famous ball. It retails for about $41, but a memorabilia expert says it's worth at least $50,000, which means if you're an Alabama in-state student, that pays for 2 full years of school here at the University of Alabama. And, Chris, it's no accident that Auburn student manager retrieved the ball. Dana Marquez, who we saw in the piece, actually trains his student managers to grab every big game ball, and none is bigger than this ball in that game.
They had to work fast. That was a melee. Pollock and I were down there. You had to be quick.
That was crazy.
The
got stampeded.
Speaking of students, there's somebody on the Alabama side who was immortalized. Remember Crawford Rogers? CBS cameras caught him on the crowd after Davis' touchdown. He became known
Pretty
as
much,
the guy.
That sums it up, right?
Here he is today.
He's been a year straight.
He's a junior now. His sister goes to Auburn, by the way.
He's been in that same look for a year.
Yeah.
He just smiled for the first time.
Yeah. My guy over here, Pollock, is skeptical. He claims that might not be the real football, that lore has taken the place of truth, and that the real ball may not actually be the one that